So, here's the thing. Imagine standing beside your future grandmother-in-law, the Queen of England, and turning to your fiancé to whisper, "Who's that next to your grandmother?" The man in question, Prince Andrew? Yes, the Queen's actual son, Harry's uncle. And supposedly, Meghan Markle had no idea who he was. She didn't even refer to Queen Elizabeth as the Queen. To Meghan, she was simply Harry's grandma. Sweet, maybe, but to those in the royal orbit, it came off as either wildly naive or something far more calculated. Because, as this story unravels, and elite circles Meghan Markle was never supposed to be in. Before we go deeper down this rabbit hole where yachts dock in Monaco and secrets disappear in Hong Kong, make sure you smash that subscribe button because what you're about to hear isn't just royalty. It's a full-blown scandal with more missing pieces than a palace jigsaw puzzle, and trust me, another actress hustling her way through Hollywood and beyond. Or so we thought. A British showbiz journalist recalls meeting her over drinks, sometime in the early 2010. Wanted British media attention? Badly. The journalist says she brought up her divorce and dating woes. But when he mentioned footballer Ashley Cole, then more for cheating scandals than clean, or because she didn't expect that name to come up. And that moment, odd as it seemed, was only the beginning. Because shortly after, her name began circling around someone far more powerful than a footballer. A man few people outside elite circles even know. Yuan L. Ash. Sound unfamiliar? That's the point. Yuan isn't a household name like Epstein, but insiders say he was just as influential, just a lot quieter. A billionaire with direct ties to Prince Andrew, according to several whispers. It wasn't Epstein who first brought Andrew into the exotic corners of Asia and the Mediterranean. It was Yuan, and here's the kicker. Yuan Elash was rumored to have close ties to Meghan. Getaways. And suddenly, these vacations weren't sounding so random anymore. One sorority sister recalled Meghan mentioning a yacht trip in 2001 before Instagram. Before influencers, when only serious money sailed those waters. Meghan said she met amazing people, but didn't name names. Fast forward a decade and the dots start connecting, because at the same time, Meghan was supposedly yachting with some of the exact same people. And here's where it gets suspicious. Meghan's academic record confirms. She even mentioned it in interviews, but what she never talks about is what came after. Where was she really? Some insiders claim she spent that time traveling across Europe on private yachts, hosted by friends of friends. The same kind of vague phrasing used by people who don't want to say too much. The timing lines up chillingly well with Prince Andrew's controversial travelogues right down to certain ports in the south of France and coastal Spain. Coincidence? Maybe. But keep listening asterisk now. Let's jump ahead to 2012. Meghan Markle flies to Hong Kong supposedly on behalf of the TV show Suits. But here's the thing. Suits wasn't internationally popular yet. Meghan wasn't even a lead actress. And here's the detail that makes people go silent. During one interview now, mysteriously wiped from the internet, Meghan supposedly said that royalty was around. Not just royalty, British royalty. And guess who was also confirmed to be in Hong Kong at that exact same time? Prince Andrew. There are no official photos of the two together. No headlines, no handshakes, but multiple attendees of that event say Meghan and Andrew were both at the same parties in the same VIP lounges with the same ultra-rich power players. One journalist even called his interview with Meghan the most unexpectedly impressive conversation of his career. Strange, considering he'd spoken to Oscar winners before. What made Meghan so compelling then? Was it charm? Or was it because she already knew more about the royal world than she let on? Asterisk, that brings us to 2013, a glamorous gala in New York City. Hosted by Novak Djokovic's foundation, A-list attendees included Naomi Campbell, Anna Wintour, Tommy Hilfiger, and allegedly Prince Andrew. This is where things get really weird. Prince Andrew was not supposed to be in the US at that time. A month in New York, off-duty staying close to his daughter Eugenie and Meghan Markle. No wire service shots, nothing. Just one privately taken photo allegedly paid for. Documented, it's as if she was always there, but never fully invited. A guest of a guest? By 2015, Meghan Markle had upgraded her lifestyle significantly. She was no longer the background extra in TV shows. She was mingling with the elite, just not in the way most people noticed. That year, she attended the grand opening of Soho House Istanbul, one of the most exclusive members-only venues in the world. The guest list was stacked. A-list celebrities, fashion moguls, and yes, even royalty. Prince Charles and Prince Harry were reportedly in Turkey that very same weekend. But, once again, no official mention of Meghan being with them. She posted a single photo from the event, posing with actor Eddie Redmayne. And when the Daily Mail covered the photo, they listed every person in the picture except Meghan Markle. She was in the frame, and still invisible. It's the same story over and over. She's present but not acknowledged, in the room but never listed. Which makes you wonder why. How did Meghan keep appearing at some of the most exclusive invitation-only events in the world without ever officially being recognized? And who exactly was helping her get in? The answer may lie in a luxury yacht floating somewhere in the Mediterranean, a yacht reportedly hosting none other than Karina Schulock, Jeffrey Epstein's last known girlfriend. One photo still floating on dark corners of the internet shows Meghan wearing a white Panama hat, grinning beside familiar faces, people whose names now trigger FBI investigations. That trip allegedly included Epstein himself, and according to multiple sources, Prince Andrew may have joined the voyage at one point. Now, there's no hard evidence tying Meghan directly to Epstein, but if she was on that yacht with Karina and the rest of the Epstein circle, then we've got a whole new problem on our hands, because that wouldn't be a coincidence. That would be access. And access, it seems, was something Meghan had plenty of. In 2013 and 2014, she began popping up at Fashion Week events, red carpet galas, and elite charity benefits. Not as a celebrity guest, but more like a mysterious plus one. She'd appear on the fringes, not in the headlines, but in the background. Never announced, rarely interviewed, but always captured in someone else's orbit. One gala in particular raised even more eyebrows. A royal ballet presentation in New York. Meghan attended. She was listed simply as a model actress in the press. Coverage, no mention of suits. No fanfare. She was surrounded by global elites, billionaires, and royalty, and yet no one seemed to know who she was. But here's where it gets even more bizarre. Meghan was consistently seen wearing clothing from a high-end fashion label owned by Harvey Weinstein's ex-girlfriend. This wasn't by accident. Meghan cultivated connections with people tied to power. Real power. The kind of power that doesn't need to make noise because it already owns the room. And behind the scenes, doors were opening. Big doors. Take Ron Burke, for example, the billionaire supermarket magnate and founder of Soho House. He's allegedly the one who flew Meghan privately to a wedding in Jamaica in 2017, a wedding that Harry also attended. Except here's the wild part. Harry flew commercial. Meghan arrived in style. At that same wedding, Princess Eugenie, Sarah Ferguson, and yes, Prince Andrew. None of them showed up in official photos, but they were there. According to insiders, they were just keeping a low profile. Why? Because someone didn't want the world knowing how often Meghan kept turning up in these circles. And it wasn't just once, it happened again and again. The stories started stacking up. Friends from Meghan's college sorority said she'd vanish for weeks at a time, returning with fantastical tales of summer adventures in Europe and Thailand, yachts, private jets, villas, and royals at the bar. At the time, no one believed her. It sounded like fantasy. But when the name Yuan Alash resurfaced, a name linked both to Prince Andrew and elite American universities, those same stories began to feel less like fiction and more like foreshadowing. Yuan, according to whispers, often bankrolled luxurious weekends for select American students. Meghan's sorority had a reputation for attracting attention from elite donors, and she seemed to be at the center of it all. So by the time she met Harry, was it really just a random romance? Or the final move in a very long game? One final name pushes this theory over the edge: Deepak Chopra, the spiritual guru and author. On Meghan's 40th birthday, he posted about offering 40 minutes of mentorship in her honor. Harmless, maybe, but Deepak Chopra was also listed in a leaked document as a recipient of charitable donations, tied to Epstein's shadowy network of influence, alongside names like Elton John, other close friend of Prince Harry. Again, no direct accusations here, but the patterns are undeniable. These weren't isolated events. Meghan wasn't some lost actress stumbling into elite circles. She was strategically placed again and again into proximity with the most powerful men in the world. And yet, every time someone questions it, there's always a cover story. Oh, she was just there for suits. She was invited as a guest. Plus one. It's all a coincidence. But coincidences don't keep happening on yachts, red carpets, and in VIP lounge. Especially when those spaces are crawling with billionaires, royals, and names the FBI doesn't like to say out loud. So now we return to that first question. The one that started it all: did Meghan Markle truly not know who Prince Andrew was when she stood next to him at Buckingham Palace? Did she really look him in the face and ask Harry, "Who's that?" Or did she already know everything? Was it a slip of the tongue or the most brilliant performance of her life? And if she really had been moving in those circles all along, what else does she know that she'll never say out loud? Because when you follow the trail from a sorority house in California to secret yachts in the Mediterranean, from a half-forgotten gala in New York to a lost interview in Hong Kong, from a private Spain residency to a billionaire you've never heard of, you stop asking how Meghan met Harry. You start wondering why and that dear viewer is where the story ends. For now, but the questions are just beginning. If you made it this far, you clearly want the truth. So don't leave without hitting that subscribe button, turning on notifications, and dropping a comment below. What do you think? Is Meghan just unlucky with optics or a master at playing the long game? Because when it comes to this royal chessboard, maybe Meghan wasn't the pawn, maybe she was the queen all along.